Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me video. So this is for June 23rd through the 29th, and I used leftovers this week from, I believe this kit was called Sunshine. Yeah, called Sunshine from Apple Blossom Prints. This is Kittenish Girl Jess art that is lovely. And I used it last year, but Apple Blossom Prints included like a whole full box page freebie with this kit, I think, because there were just a lot of good options for art. So it was so easy to reuse this one. So I used this because this was more of a quiet week. We didn't really do anything wild this weekend other than house stuff, so I thought this kit really fit that nicely. And it was really hot this weekend, so that was part of the reason why we mostly stayed home and just took care of stuff around the house, read, all that good stuff. The first thing I'm going to mark on the Monday of this week is that it's 1 month till the Death Cab for Cutie concert, and as of recording this voiceover, that concert is happening tonight. So I'm trying to conserve my energy. My lower back is hurting today, which is such a 33-year-old problem, I think. And it wasn't hurting for days since the not Death Cab for Cutie, the My Chemical Romance concert that I went to 4 days ago. I didn't hurt after that, but now for some reason today I am, so I don't know what's up with that. So I'm gonna like probably stretch a little bit and make sure, because I have to be on my feet all tonight. And yeah, it's really exciting. I have no idea what they're going to play. I know there's a bunch of, not a bunch, like 3 shows that they're doing, like their Plans album anniversary tour, but this is not one of those shows. This is a different set of shows, so I have no idea what to expect, except maybe some of their newer stuff and maybe hopefully a few throwbacks to, like 2010 or whatever. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm also really excited that we don't have to drive 3 hours to get to this concert, because My Chemical Romance was so incredibly fun, and I loved that it was in San Francisco, but it did take us like 3 hours to get out there on a Saturday afternoon. And then there's no traffic on the freeway getting home, but like there was traffic getting out of San Francisco, that's for sure. So anyway, had so much fun though. Like, I can't believe I'm doing 2 concerts basically in the same week of each other. It's just kind of how the calendar shook out. I found out about the Death Cab concert because we were going to My Chemical Romance, and I was just curious, looking up like where else is MCR touring this year, and their New Jersey show, Death Cab, is opening for them. And I was like, dang it, I wish. But of course, they're from New Jersey, so like I think they have like 2 openers for the MetLife show. And Oracle Park is one of like the smaller ballparks in the country, I think. So yeah, the opener we got for MCR was like, yeah, I didn't know who they were, and they seemed nice, but I don't think I'll be listening to them after this. But yeah, so it would have been nice to get a different opener, but that's fine. That is totally fine. The concert itself was incredibly, incredibly fun. We were on our feet the entire night, singing, dancing, screaming, all those things. If you don't know, MCR is touring right now as like a revamp of the Black Parade tour from like almost 20 years ago. I had to remind my husband the other day that 2006, next year, that will be 20 years ago. And he was like, oh God. I'm like, I know. For context, we were 14 in 2006, so it's been a minute. I was definitely not listening to My Chemical Romance back then. I knew about them because I was on the, of all places, WB Harry Potter message boards. If any of you were there back in like 2005, 2006, let me know, because I need to know that I didn't just imagine those. Like, those were a thing, right? But yeah, I just remember certain people who were really into Harry Potter were also like really into My Chemical Romance, and I was like a very like I don't even know how to describe it, like very conventional teenager, like did not rebel in the slightest, not even with like music. Like in high school I was listening to country and pop, like I would, Taylor Swift, obviously, and then a lot of country, because I was around a lot of country boys and trying to keep up with them. And looking back, I'm like, okay, why, Jessica, why? Also, my dad had spent a lot of time in Texas around 2006 because unfortunately his dad was passing away. So he came back from Texas, and then we all as a family started listening to a lot more country music. And I still have country music in my heart. It's just a lot of the people who are like the most famous in that genre currently are kind of awful. So like as people. So I stick with my Casey Musgraves and my Maren Morris and all of them. So anyway, I'm getting off on a side tangent, but yeah, I did not listen to My Chemical Romance back in high school when they were like, you know, the most popular originally, but my husband totally did. And then when I met him in 2012, he was definitely in his Danger Days era, like had like the kind of pretentious watch from that album, had a bunch of like rubber band bracelets from that, had a bunch of shirts, had spiky hair, the leather jacket, all that nonsense. Not nonsense, I'm totally joking, but you know, you can picture the look. So yeah, I didn't start listening to them until maybe like 10 years ago, which of course would have been like the 10-year anniversary of the Black Parade. But yeah, I'm just sort of rambling on, sorry. But yeah, it was a revamp of the Black Parade tour with kind of a new dictator theme, question mark. Kind of relevant right now, if I'm being real. And I'm interested to see, there's clearly some sort of storyline that's progressing through the shows. So the San Francisco show was like the second show of the tour. The first one was in Seattle, and there have been a couple of changes and references back to the Seattle show at our show. So this video is going to go up after the LA shows happen, but I'm going to be paying attention this weekend coming up as to what goes on at the LA shows, because I feel like something with the storyline is going to progress. And then they had a B stage set as well. I don't know why I'm talking about this now. We'll talk about it when I get into that plan with me. But yeah, the B stage was like their actual selves, not the Black Parade personas. But it was so much fun. So looking forward to another concert tonight. And then I will probably go into a little bit of a depression after this concert, the Death Cab for Cutie concert, is done, because I'll be like, okay, what now? I go back to work soon. Anyway, Monday, like I said, the first thing I'm going to mark is 1 month till Death Cab for Cutie, which, as of you seeing this video, that concert will have passed. We'll talk about it in the next video, maybe. But that sticker is from Sweet Ava's paper. I marked some financial stuff, and then I also marked brushing the cats because they were shedding fur everywhere. So that's also from Sweet Ava's paper. I did some yoga. I filmed and voiced over a plan with me, so I'm going to have a Cinderella paper sticker and then a Sweet Ava's paper sticker. And then for some reason I marked taking out the recycling. I don't really know why. I think I just have a lot of recycling stickers I want to use up. I do this like probably every other day, like taking basically the recycling that's inside the house out to the big bin out front so it can actually go out. So yeah, marked that. I'm glad we have recycling in our current place, because the last two places we lived didn't. And I don't know if that was a Orange County thing. Sounds like it to me. Or if it was just that we were in like townhouses or apartments. Not sure. Anyway, glad to have recycling now. So I'm going to mark that with a little icon from an old kit that I've saved. And then this day I was reading, I just, on a whim, I picked up Juliana Sparr's That Winter the Wolf Came, which is a collection of poems. I've already read this before, but I don't know, it just felt like the right thing to read this week. I think this was right after some things happened in the Middle East that I'm not going to go into detail about here because you probably already know what happened the week before this. But basically, this book of poems focuses a lot on the Occupy movement, because this poet was involved with that. And also the title comes from around that time period when a wild wolf appeared in California for the first time in like a super long time. So it's kind of the juxtaposition of those two historical moments. So I marked that with this Podyssey icon from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. The Odyssey will be important 2 days from that date, let me tell you. And then I marked that my husband was working late and that I watched Last Week Tonight. So I had this newspaper, Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. that I've been liking to use for watching that show. Whew, I'm kind of out of breath from like frantically describing the My Chemical Romance concert. I've been like on a weird adrenaline high the last 4 days. Hopefully I don't crash at the end of it. I don't know. I've been like really happy, but also like sad that it's over at the same time. And I was like nervous about going to that concert because I'm like, it's not really, we mostly went because my husband wanted to go because he wanted to go like 5 years ago. And obviously that concert didn't happen. And like, I like them, but I don't like love them. But now apparently I absolutely love them. So I'm kind of obsessed. And makes it hard to focus on other things when you're obsessed with something. That's not good. but it's also a good feeling at the same time. It's weird. Anyway, Tuesday I marked yoga, I marked therapy with something from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., and then I marked loading and or unloading and loading the dishwasher with a sticker from Sweet Ava's paper. Again, just like little things I marked this week that aren't that important, but I have the stickers for them. Or it's not that they're not important, but like I don't necessarily need to mark them, but I'm like, I have the space, I have the stickers, might as well mark them. I filmed another plan with me, I brushed the cats again, and then at the end of the night, I was watching a bunch of YouTube, so I'm gonna have another trio of Sweet Ava's paper stickers there eventually. I think I color blocked this kit last year, which meant I couldn't color block it this year, but I had enough spacing in between things here that the staggered colors looked good to me. Sometimes the staggered colors don't look good to me, but usually it's because I have to like cram a bunch of stuff together at the same time. Okay, Wednesday we're gonna get back to the Odyssey, or the Podyssey as it's marked on Monday. So I woke up this Wednesday from a nightmare regarding the Odyssey. I don't really remember the details other than it was about the Odyssey, Homer's The Odyssey, which I've read twice in my life. I had to read it once in high school, and then I had to read it for World Lit, which was not really like an elective in community college, but like I was applying to UCLA for transfer, and one of their requirements, besides taking a whole year of a foreign language, was taking a whole year of World Lit too. So I've read it through twice. I've talked about it a lot. I have not read it recently. I have not talked about it recently. I don't know why it popped up into my head, and I don't know what the nightmare situation was other than maybe trying to escape the Cyclops. Actually, there's a lot of different mythical creatures you have to escape in that book, in that story, isn't there? So yeah, I don't know. But I marked it with an anxiety sticker from Sweet Ava's paper because that's how I woke up. And then after my husband left for work, I actually got to sleep in because I just didn't sleep well the night before. So I have this cute sloth sticker from Sweet Ava's paper. Once I finally got the day rolling, I did some yoga. I voiced over the plan with me that I filmed the day before, and then I filmed a haul. So those two stickers are going to be from Sweet Ava's paper. In fact, everything else at the end of Wednesday is going to be from Sweet Ava's paper. I'm using her stickers a lot because I have a lot of them right now because she's been running a going out of business sale for a really long time, so I benefit from that. I think this was the one time recently that I've filmed a haul like all the way through. Like usually how I film hauls is I film orders as they come in because I just want to put stuff away or use it or whatever. But this time I actually filmed everything all together and put up the video, I think either the next week or during this week, I'm not sure. Clover had an accident in her litter box in which she missed the litter box horribly, so I marked that with a This Is Fine cat, and then I watched more YouTube at the end of Wednesday. Thursday, I marked my husband working from home, and then I also marked the 10-year anniversary of the Obergefell case that made all marriage legal and equal in this country. And I think it's important to continue fighting for that. We can't take these things for granted anymore, clearly. So I'm going to mark that with a Progress Pride flag from Corks and Corgs Co. This is drawn by the lovely Laurel over at Corks and Corgs Co. I believe they have this Progress Pride flag sticker, the trans flag sticker, and then they might have a couple other Pride flag stickers as well. I don't remember which ones. It's been a minute since I looked at the shop. But yeah, if you want Pride flag stickers, that would be a good place to go, is Corks and Corgs Co. Then I played with the cats, so I have a Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I did a job application this day, and then I was just like groggy and nauseated this day. It was gonna be really hot this weekend, so I think I was just really dried out. So I'm gonna mark that with another sloth from Sweet Ava's paper. And then to commemorate the Obergefell ruling, I decided to watch the Parks and Rec episode where a gay penguin wedding takes place. So I have this like Sweet Ava's paper sticker where it's the cat riding a unicorn because I thought that would be a funny way to mark it. Obviously, this is a very humorous way of dealing with the, for some reason, ongoing debate about same-sex marriage in this country. But I think it's like one of the best Parks and Rec episodes, in my opinion. It's the opener to season 2, and it really sums up things fairly well, especially if you're in a smaller town. I think it sums it up quite well. And it's filmed at the old LA Zoo in Griffith Park, where I've been because it's not a zoo anymore, but it is a giant park, and I've gone to Shakespeare in the Park there. So that's where it's filmed. So every time I watch it, I think about free Shakespeare in the Park, which if you're ever in LA in the summer, please, please, please try to go to Shakespeare in the Park. It is free. They take donations, but it's free to enter, and it's such a good time out in the summer nights in LA, and I miss it so much. I don't miss a ton of things about Southern California, about living there, but like that is one of the events that I miss a lot, not being there now. And then at the end of the night, after Parks and Rec, I watched more Cold Case and Great American Baking Show. Friday, I again marked that my husband worked from home. I also did laundry this day, so I have a hamper from Beneva Creations. I did a little mini workout, and then I marked that it was just a hot weekend. It was really hot, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which probably meant like triple digits. I don't remember exactly, but usually if I mark that it's hot, it's like over 100 degrees. We've had a really mild summer so far. Like we've had these little pockets of triple digit temperatures, but we haven't had like a week's worth of 100 degrees or like 2 weeks, which is very frequently happening during the summers here. So a very mild June and July. It makes me nervous that August and September are going to be like unseasonably hot. We'll see. I talk about the weather a lot. I realize that, but where I live, I feel like it changes a lot, and you can also get like multiple seasons in a day. Like this weekend we were in San Francisco, right? And it's pretty chilly there. People were like posting about how it sucked, and I'm like, this has always been how San Francisco's been in July. Like, have you never heard the Mark Twain quote about how the coldest winter is a summer in San Francisco? Like, but anyway, so we were out there and it was probably like 65 as a high and like 55 as a low. Here it was like 90 as a high, but then that same low temperature at night. So our temperatures fluctuate a lot more throughout the day. Anyway, marked all of that with a Sweet Avis Paper air conditioner sticker, and then I finished that Winter the Wolf Came this day. And then we went to Journey to the Dumpling for date night, so that's like our local dumpling spot. I don't think I got dumplings this day, and I did regret it because really their dumplings are like the best stuff they have. And then we watched Game Grumps because they were playing Stray, which is about a stray cat, and I watched Last Week Tonight, so I just marked that with a Sweet Avis Paper video game sticker because Game Grumps is a video game channel that I found out from my husband. I've adopted a lot of cultural things from my husband while still maintaining my own as well. But you know, you spend enough time with somebody, you do start listening to the same music as them and watching the same TV as them, I think. Because you're like, well, that seems cool. I like that. Saturday, the first thing I marked was playing with the cats, and then I believe this was the first time that Kittenish Jess did a live stream. So I think she was streaming I guess she was streaming The Sims this day because I used a Sims sticker to mark that. I think, so she's in Europe, so I think when she streams, it's like late at night, but for me, it's like, not first thing in the morning, but it's still morning here, so it's quite funny. It's a good time for me to watch a live stream because like I'm just getting started with my day, and especially in the summer, I don't like get up and go anywhere first thing in the morning. So I've been hanging out on those live streams. It's been a lot of fun. Then I took naps this weekend just because it was hot and I was feeling really groggy. And my husband's like, you could try taking a nap. I'm like, no, I don't want to take a nap. Like I'm a 2-year-old or something and refusing to take a nap. But I did do some I found that if I nap in like 15 to 20 minute increments, that's when it feels good. So anyway, I marked that with this Bunny Bear Plans cat cuddling sticker because what happened was Clover was sleeping on her bed next to my bed, and then Evie, my husband, came down to nap as well. Evie slept on top of my husband, so I was just surrounded by cats. And then I continued reading An Abundance of Catherines this day. I marked that with a Romeo and Juliet sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I watched more Last Week Tonight. In the middle of the night, Evie stuck her head through the blinds and was like kind of howling. And I think she saw a stray cat. We do have stray cats that wander around here, and Evie really hates them. I don't really blame her. She's like, get off my lawn. We don't have a lawn, but same principle applies. So I'm going to use a Molly Gets in an Argument sticker for that because it really represents Evie yelling at another cat outside. The face on the Molly honestly looks more like Clover being grumpy, but we're gonna mark it for Evie. We harvested more tomatoes off of our plants, so that's from Sweet Ava's paper, and we went to Ace Hardware to pick out a stain for restaining our nightstands, and then my husband restained, or at least did the first coat on one of our nightstands, so that paint palette is from Beneva Creations. I took another power nap this day, so I'm going to mark that with a cat tree sticker from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. We had a financial chat about our healthcare deductible and spending tracking and all that fun stuff. And then I watched more Last Week Tonight. So that was the week of June 23rd through the 29th. As you can see, nothing too exciting happened. But it was a nice week to just kind of spend at home and relax a bit. So that is the final look. I'm going to go ahead and write everything in. Thank you so much for watching. The ramble at the beginning about the concert in my feverish, excitement, post-concert excitement might have been a lot. I will try to collect my thoughts a little bit more clearly for when we actually get to that plan with me, because I would like to be a little bit more organized in how I talk about it. But for now, that's what's left of the kit. I hope you enjoyed. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.